Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Peace, love, and positivity to you. My name is Sohum, and today I'll be giving a first-time reaction and lyrical analysis to the songs Boulder to Birmingham by Emmylou and Time by the Parsons Project. I haven't heard any music from either of these two artists, so this is going to be a very fresh reaction for you all on that front. But I am told a lot of good things about Emmylou and her voice and the meaning behind both of these songs. You guys know me, I love good songs that have deep meaning, and I guess there's this piece of information I'll share with you up front here. I don't know how you'll take it, but when I was initially starting to listen to music, like in a quote-unquote serious way, I think I was in 5th grade, and I actively avoided listening to lyrics. Like some lyrics of songs I would be able to memorize and remember quite quickly, but I didn't go a level past that in terms of meaning or interpretation. I always kind of went with the melody. And if the melody was good, if the beat was nice, if what I heard at a high level was kind of the thing for me, then that's all I would focus on, even despite the lyrics being good or bad. As I've matured and progressed through my musical journey, I realized that a lot of the ways in which I was being emotionally affected by the music came subconsciously through the lyrics, regardless of if I was actually directly reading them and trying to understand them or not. And through this reaction channel and just being more involved in the musical world, I have found so much more to appreciate about lyricism, songwriting, finding meaning through the music we create. Because if you think of music as art, which of course it is, art is often there to convey a certain perspective. And often that unique perspective will jibe with us, whether it's emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, whatever it needs to be. And that's the great part about music, is that there's so many places in which it could resonate with us. And meaning is just one of those things that, fits into that larger puzzle. So from that perspective, super excited to get into these today. But before we do, I just wanted to thank Dwayne for sending this request my way and bringing new artists to the channel. Now, let's jump into it.
I don't wanna hear a love song. I got on this airplane just to fly, and I know there's life below me, but all that you can show me is the prairie and the sky. And I don't wanna hear a sad story.
Oh, wow.
Full of heartbreak and desire.
Dude, I like her voice a
The
lot.
last time I felt like this, I was in the wilderness and the canyon was on fire.
Dude, already there's so much here, but her dynamics and her vocals, terrific. And if you'll listen to all of these unique sounds coming from each instrument, they're panned differently. So you'll hear, I think it's the acoustic guitar in the left side. I'll point out some of the other directions that I'm noticing for the other instruments.
And the canyon was on fire, and I stood on the mountain.
Wow, piano right up front.
In the night, and I watched it burn.
Oh my god, and the slide guitar up.
Watched it burn.
It just sits right here.
Watched it burn. I would rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. I would hold my life in his saving grace. I would walk on
truly beautiful.
Well, you really got me this time.
Wow. Like the way that all these notes are ringing out, now you got the strings that just carry this melodic air. It is just so fluid. It is also warm, kind of like washes over you. A musical baptism of sorts.
And the hardest part is knowing I survived. I've come to listen for the sound of the trucks as they move down out on 95 and pretend that it's the ocean coming down to wash me clean,
My God,
to
dude.
wash me clean.
Wow.
Baby, do you know what I mean? I would rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. I would hold my life in his saving grace. I would walk all the way from Boulder to Birmingham if I thought I could see your face. If I thought I could see your face.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful. That is a good song. I feel like it's sort of a combination of gospel, of southern rock, I guess. Though I'm like less keen on making the rock comment because it is a little bit more uh calm than like a huge rock song would imply. It almost feels like a bit of a ballad. Dude, I love the different elements that we had in this composition, especially like that slide guitar, because the way that this one was particularly recorded, it felt like such a thin note, but it wasn't piercing, it wasn't like grating. It was actually just the perfect counterpoint to all of the other mids and lows that we were hearing. And you pair that with the panning as well, like the textures of the acoustic guitar and the snare and the piano, all in different places. If it almost kind of resembles like one of those like mobiles, you know, that kids have above their cradles with all of the flying objects around, and they kind of like admire them as if they're stars in the sky above. It's kind of like how it feels auditorily as I'm listening and trying to pick out the pieces from this floating expanse. But I think the main musical element that draws you in is the warmth in Emmylou's voice. But yeah, let's jump into the lyrics here. I'm not so certain of the meaning of this track because I'm like, as I was like listening through, there was a lot of moments of ambiguity where it could be taken multiple ways. So I don't have like a cogent idea of the song at a high level yet. Let's just go line by line and see where we land. I don't want to hear a love song. I got on this airplane just to fly, and I know there's life below me, but all that you can show me is the prairie and the sky. This second line here, I really love. I got on this airplane just to fly. Like, I'm just here to travel, experience, and even though it may seem like I'm escaping life, like this is what I need in this moment right now, because you're only showing me like the forest, you know? And I think the you that she's referring to is God, but I think it could be about anybody else too. But let's see how it progresses. So I don't want to hear a sad story full of heartbreak and desire. The last time I felt like this, I was in the wilderness and the canyon was on fire. She's like, I don't want to go through this heartbreak again. Like, whatever story you want to tell me, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to believe it because it felt so tumultuous and terrible. I feel this immense grief. And I believe you mentioned it, Dwayne, that this song was written sort of about uh, her losing someone close to her. I think when you think about it from a grief perspective, it's like, I don't want to live in the details because the details of our memories are far too painful for me to stomach at this moment. So I'd rather just leave it somewhere else, compartmentalize it for the moment, because addressing it is a scary thing. And that's also kind of the unfortunate aspect of grief, is that the only way out of it, quote unquote, is to address it head on, to go through it, to process and feel all of it. And even then, at the end of it, you will still have sadness, you will still feel pangs of grief throughout your life when you lost somebody who's that important to you. You know, but the the moment where you start running away from it, it becomes easier to run away, you know? So people take their different time with grief and confronting the things that are internal. And it's not a linear process either. It is just so challenging. And it seems like so far the metaphor of travel is being used sort of as an expression of her emotional numbness that she's trying to live within. Let's keep going. And I stood on the mountain in the night and I watched it burn. I watched it burn, I watched it burn. I would rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. So before we get to the Abraham line here, like watching the burning of this fire, it's almost as if she's becoming the observer to herself, because she has this facade of numbness and sees the fire through the lens of indifference. And that's kind of like when you have something going on internally, but you choose to ignore it, but it doesn't go anywhere. It stays there, it festers, it grows. The fire is only going to stop when you put it out, you know? So I would rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. I would hold my life in his saving grace. And I would walk all the way from Boulder to Birmingham if I thought I could see your face. So the idea here, what I'm understanding, is because she's traveled through plain and past all of the land below, and now she's on the other side of things looking from Boulder, the mountains of Boulder, right, really high up. She's looking down and seeing everything that's there. And I would walk all of these thousands of miles if it meant I could have you again. You know, the loss that she suffered, if I could have that person back in this earthly plane with me, I would do everything. But I know that all of my efforts aren't going to actually lead me to that outcome. There's nothing that can be done to bring you back, you know? The only way I can keep you alive is through your memory, but that doesn't require me to go through all of that space between Boulder and Birmingham. I'm not a theologian, so I don't know specifically how Abraham fits into this. I know like Moses and Abraham are religious figures, so I'm just not going to comment on this part just because I'm probably going to say something incorrect. Well, you really got me this time, and the hardest part is knowing I'll survive. I've come to listen for the sound of the trucks as they move down out on 95. You have to live with the grief. That's the thing. It's not like you just lose the person and it happens once and then it's forgotten. You remember. You're constantly reminded of things. You see a picture, you see a movie that you saw together, a song that reminds you of them. Any fleeting thought in your mind, it doesn't have to be generated from something external. The connection we feel, it is chemical, it is physiological, it is at the level of the soul. And you can't just simply cut ties with that. And pretend that it's the ocean coming down to wash me clean, to wash me clean. So what is she pretending? The sound, she's pretending the sound of the trucks as they move down 95 as the ocean washing her. So maybe the imagery of the trucks and the audio behind their sound has some like personal relevance to her that I'm not understanding, but also could be more symbolic of this idea of travel once again, for plane versus like a truck versus walking. Coming down to wash me clean, baby. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's like this version of, because I mentioned like musical baptism earlier. Maybe it's a version of like ridding herself of the grief that she's facing by any means through safe experiences that are reminders of this person but don't push you too far into grief, kind of like baby stepping your way through that process. I don't know. That's a hard one for me to wrap my brain around. Coming down to wash me clean. Pretend it's the ocean. In the ocean, you think of being super expansive, full of life, but also seemingly directionless. If you were to just be planted in the middle of the ocean, you would not know where you were. To me, that like symbolically feels like she feels lost without this person. But also washing her clean, it's like she has to experience the loss and being just without direction to be able to find it again, you know? You have to be lost at some point in order to be found. I would rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. I would hold my life in a saving grace. I would walk all the way from Boulder to Birmingham. If I thought I could see your face. If I thought I could see your face. Yeah, man, a very powerful song. I view the song as one that expresses just profound grief and not necessarily knowing what to do, to escape, to process, to in desperation lean on emotional numbness because it's too painful, or to actually experience things bit by bit. There's no easy way to interpret it, and that's grief. There's no easy way to process your grief. You just have to put one step in front of the other, be as resilient as possible, and hold the memory of that person in as high regard as you can. Look fondly on the positives of the relationship and time spent together, because that's what that person would want, is for their memory to be remembered in a celebratory kind of way, one where it's viewed lovingly and where you don't persist in pain indefinitely. Pain is there. You're never not going to feel pain. And we still have a choice to act in a way that keeps us moving on and sort of like transmuting that grief into positive energy moving forward. Yeah, that's a deep track. Let's jump into the next one here. This is Time. Not to be mistaken with Time by Hans Zimmer. Kind of like a ballad so far.
Who knows when we shall meet again? If ever. But time.
Oh, that's a relaxing melody.
Keeps flowing like a river.
Oh. Dude, just live in this sound. It is so engulfing. Oh, now the strings.
maybe for forever.
His voice sounds like strings.
Goodbye, my love. The tide waits for me. Who knows when we shall meet again? If ever. But time keeps flowing like a river to the sea, to the sea, till it's gone
Oh, wow. This song is expanding emotionally, in sound. Oh, wow.
Goodbye, my friend. Maybe for forever.
What style of music is this? Like just like a ballad?
Goodbye, my friend. The stars wait for me.
Oh, wow.
Who knows where we shall meet again?
You know what's funny about this song is like lyrically keeps flowing like a river. Time. The song itself just flows. It literally feels like, I don't know, you're bathing in a creek and the washer is just water is like slowly not rushing by you, but a slower version of that where it feels warm, feels calm, and time continues to pass. It continues to flow despite what you think is possible, despite what you may want. You just have to kind of allow nature to take its course and experiencing nature for what it is, just letting it be beautiful. It's a profound thing.
We shall meet again. If ever
This kind of reminds me a bit of Pink Floyd and
time
Electric Light Orchestra.
keeps flowing like a river to the sea, to the sea, till it's gone forever.
Chills, chills. Forevermore. That was such a wonderful song. Yeah. What a great feeling you come away from this one with, because it feels like it slows you down. It feels very cathartic. Man, I want to talk about the meaning of this track, but first I'll just talk about some of the musicality that really stuck out to me here. love the slow moving nature, the tempo. Um, doesn't it honestly, like, the song, it flowed so well that you don't even pick up on tempo, but it was slow enough that you got to live in every single musical moment that was presented, whether it be from like those synth sounds or in the guitar or from the vocals. And living in the moment of the song is really nice. I've kind of used this analogy before, but imagine like you take a slice of life and then you just magnify it. You zoom in all the way and expand that little slice, that universe. Like each individual person in this world is a slice of the life of the universe, right? We are all so uniquely interesting. You could spend years unpacking what goes on with every single individual, and to me this song is almost like a version of that, where we found a sound, a vibe that they leaned into, expanded, and allowed to really kind of breathe freely, which I really like. But yeah, I want to get into the meaning of this one. This whole idea of time. I am just going to opine on this and see where that lands us, because I know there's a lot of unique. You can call it interpretations of what time is and means to us individually, societally. Oftentimes, time can be commodified. Let's say if you think of capitalism, time flowing like a river, it feels like, okay, time is constant, but it also is constantly fleeting and moving past us. So to act as though you have control of your time is it defies what time is conceptually. And if you can be extremely present in the moment all the time, pun intended, I guess, then you will feel the bathing of time wash over you, and every single moment will be maximally experienced rather than kind of remaining in the past or constantly, let's say, anxious about your future. So let's jump into it here. Time like a flowing like a river, time beckoning me, who knows when we shall meet again, if ever, but time keeps flowing like a river. Yeah, I've heard time described in this way a lot, that it flows. I've also heard from the show True Detective, time is a flat circle. It's interesting. Time being considered a fourth dimension, I think, gets readily debunked by a lot of scientific scholars. But I always thought that made a lot of sense, at least in my naive brain. We can't control time, and nor should we want to, I think, is maybe the more salient point. Because the more we act as though we don't have enough of time, then our constant affect in this world is to extract and get as much as we can and squeeze the most value out of something that you don't have to. The experience alone is the value, that is the blessing, and time passing is just a consequence of the universe being what it is. It is just another way in which our consciousness gets expressed, and we don't have to tether our minds to any one place or moment in time. We can constantly be evolving and fluid and move with our environments. If you think of just the idea of water, and I think even you brought this up, Dwayne, that water flows, it kind of encounters some object, whether it's in its path or around the corner, whatever, and forms its way past that object. Did it break the water? No, the water is still intact. It's still there, but it continues to flow. Nothing can actually stop the flow of time. So if you can embrace that nothing stops, then all you have to do is to keep looking forward and keep moving one foot in front of the other and experience all that there is that the world offers you. This who knows when we shall meet again, kind of, to me, it's like you have two passing ships in the night. Like I've thought about this example in a song that I was writing, but if you've had a past love, maybe you went on one date or something like that, and you guys just immediately clicked, it was perfect, and then you never saw each other again. Maybe logistically things didn't work out. You don't know what could have been, and then you want to think of like, will I ever meet this person again? I don't know. Only time will tell. And you have to allow the time to flow without attaching your hope to any certain outcome. The only thing that is certain is the flow. But time keeps flowing like a river to the sea. Goodbye, my love, maybe for forever. Goodbye, my love, the tide waits for me. Who knows when we shall meet again, if ever? And to me, because now we have it clear in our minds that this is about a former lover, to me, the idea that you'll meet them, it's almost an inevitability. It's a matter of when you will meet them. And you may meet them during the lifetime that we have on this earth, or you may meet them in the afterlife, in the cosmos, in this universe that is all shared, that is all interconnected. So by the time you've made it to the sea, this final basin where everything just is, which is the universe, you'll meet them again. And for me, technically, my belief is that we are all connected together anyways, despite us being proximal to one another or not, despite us knowing all of the nails of each other's minds or not. If we exist, we know each other. If ever, but time keeps flowing like a river on and on, to the sea, till it's gone forever, gone forever, gone forevermore. And this gone forever piece may feel more ominous, but in my opinion, it's the idea that the time that passed us is already gone, and we shouldn't focus on that. We don't need to ruminate on it endlessly, because that makes our present moment suck. Because if you're constantly reminiscing on the past and not living in the present, and then you're also anxious about the future, you're doing yourself a disservice. We can't control what we can't control, so don't attach your ego to your inability to control things. And I understand there's a lot of aspirations that we have and wishes and maybe regrets. And in spite of all of that, we continue to move forward and accept the reality for what it is. That's another version of, being water, being fluid. So goodbye, my friend. Goodbye, my love. Now I must leave, maybe for forever. Yeah. Parting ways, goodbye. Like, you may never know. Like, this is the last time we'll see each other. And goodbyes hurt that much more when you don't know what's to come, but that's why you make the time you have together as meaningful as possible. The stars wait for me. Who knows where we shall meet again, if ever, but time keeps flowing like a river to the sea till it's gone forever. Gone forever, forevermore. And that's interesting too, the change from gone forever into gone forevermore. I'm not sure definitionally if there's a major difference, but the way I kind of interpret it, gone forever, it's done, and forevermore, I will be gone forevermore. Like, in the future, things will still be gone forever. It's kind of like a perspective observation on the reality. Because time is what it is now, it will be what it is then, and I'm not going to be able to control any part of that process. Yeah, both of these songs uniquely kind of touch on this idea of passage of time. In the first song, there's more themes of grief going on, but also if you, let's say, kind of connect these two dots, with time, grief can sometimes subside, but also it is not linear, your processing of grief. So with time, you flow up, you may flow down, you may flow backwards. It is not obvious how to, I guess, let go of some of the things that hurt us. And the thing is, people think like letting go is like completely forgetting and like ridding it from your mind, compartmentalizing it and locking it into a deep dark box somewhere that will never be found. It's more about letting your emotions and experiences wash over you and with you in a way that brings you to your future self rather than staying stuck forever. The idea of that idiom being like a stick in the mud implies that you aren't moving in any direction. And in my opinion, lack of movement is regression, if not a slow death. Even if you think of what happens to your body physically, if you don't move as much, you start to suffer. Health consequences appear out of nowhere. Even in like this year, one of my goals has been to get 10,000 steps every single day, and I have felt so much more lively. I can eat more, I feel more active, I feel like I'm flowing with time, you know? But those are my thoughts on these tracks today. Let me know what you think about the meanings of these songs in the comments section down below. If you'd like to request a reaction yourself, please hit the first link in the description box below. That's the best way to support my channel. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.